Hey, welcome back to my podcast today. Today I'm going to share about the boundaries we normally ignore and the lessons I learned on the journey. This is going to help us on how to be aware of ourselves and become the best version of us. And today I want to share something honest with you. I remember there was a season of my life where everything looked fine from the outs. Everyone was excited about what I was really doing, and generally, it was really fine. Nothing you could point and say, see, that's the problem. But inside, I was so exhausted in a way I couldn't explain. Not the kind of that sleeps fixes. It was more like I had been living a few inches outside of myself for so long. I forgot what it felt like actually to be in my own life. You know that feeling? That was me. And I believe most of us are in such a mess, a situation. I kept telling myself, it's fine in it. It's not that serious. I'm just being dramatic. And I had pushed through because that's what you do, right? You push through. You always push and push and push through. But something in me kept getting quicker, get quieter and smaller. And I didn't even notice it is happening because it never happens all at once. Because that is the reality where boundaries come in. Here is the thing nobody told me growing up. Most of us were told how to be good, how to behave, how to be kind, sometimes be patient and understanding, how to not make things awkward. And those are all beautiful qualities. But the truth is, nobody sat me down and said, hey, when something does not feel right, that feeling is trying to tell you something. So when discomfort showed up, I did what I was told because that's what I grew knowing that this is the exact thing I'm supposed to do. I reframed it. I called it a compromise. I called it being the biggest person. I called it love. At some point, even belonging. And slowly, without recognizing it, I stopped being able to hear my own inner voice. That person that whispers, wait, this does not feel right. Before I really understood any of this, I thought boundaries were just dramatic, funny, messy. Like in my hands, a boundary was confrontation. So when my gut tried to speak up, softly, the way I always does, I brushed it off. It didn't look like what I thought a boundary moment should look like. That was the first mistake I did. And I didn't understand it during those moments. Let me take you back to the specific time in my life. Everything was moving too fast. And people around me, the ones who loved me, kept saying in it, can you maybe slow down? Are you really sure about that decision you're making? And I had them. I really had them. But what I did is that I brushed them off. But there was this louder voice inside, not wisdom. I know that now it was fear. Fear of missing out, left behind. What if? What if? Maybe things fall apart. So I kept moving, even when my body was hesitating, even when the part of me was quietly asking for more time. The first boundary I ignored was the time. Time is very important in our journey. If you underestimate it, it freezes you. It makes you a mess person and it denies you life. But when you understand it, it is being redeemed back to you. I didn't give myself enough of it to actually understand what I was walking into. There was no slow, ordinary days where you should just watch someone, where you reality gets to reveal itself at its own pace. It was just all momentum, excitement, and let me figure it out as we go. I know you're getting me now. And I told myself that clarity would come after the commitment, and the certain could catch up. But here is what I know now. Clarity nearly grows in the middle of the speed. It needs space, it needs stillness. I was adjusting my thinking to protect a future I wanted, instead of paying attention to the present I was actually living in. That is what I did. And here comes my second boundary. I ignored. It was emotional honesty in life. There was a moment, quiet evening, usually, where everything in my chest felt heavy, messy, like when a song is slightly out of tone and you can't stop noticing it, even though you can't name exactly what is wrong. I almost said it out loud once. I think we need to slow down. That words were right there. But I swallowed them because of my pride, because I didn't want to create doubt for him or for me. I wanted peace on the side so badly that I let confusion live unchecked on the other side. And that's the trade-off that always costs more than you think. And the biggest boundary I ignored most was the one with myself. The part of me that knew, even then deep down, that I was moving from a place of fear. I overrode that part, not in one night or dramatic moments of life, but in dozens of tiny ones. Every time I told myself, just keep going. It will make sense later. We normally convince ourselves, but in the process we lose who we truly are. And that's one of the red flags in our lives. It makes our boundaries to be too weak to the extent that you can't recognize who you truly are. I thought belongings requires urgency, but I was wrong. So I traded understanding for reassurance, and I called it love. But I got you. Let's take a deep breath. Let's feel those boundaries I've shared, like time, ourselves. And then here is what really helped. That boundaries are really loud. They don't usually announce themselves with drama or confrontation in life. They show up as half-second pause before you answer. A question you stop yourself from asking because you don't want to seem different. They are very quiet, easy to dismiss. And because they are quiet, most of us walk right past them to keep life very smooth. And when we do that, when we keep ignoring those signals, we don't fall apart immediately. This is something which gradually happens. Life just continues. But internally, something shifts. You stop trusting your own reactions because you trained yourself not to follow them. And one day you look up and think, how did I get here? When did I agree to this? And you can't pinpoint a single decision because it wasn't one decision. It was 100 small ones, all made while looking the other way. Okay, let's say, so what do you actually do in this moment? Now that we have found what brings it, the first thing that really helped me, it was letting hesitation be my information. When your first instinct is wait, don't immediately correct it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Sit with it for a second. Ask it. Name it. What are you trying to tell me? Pause is not a problem. It is wisdom with data. Secondly, you don't have to resolve everything right now to feel safe. We rush to cross the road because uncertain is incompatible. But some of the best decisions I've made came from sitting in. I don't know yet. Long enough for real clarity to show up. Not forced, but clarity. Actually, if you have clarity, you have the knowing to understand, because that is awareness. permit yourself to leave things unfinished until they are ready. And this takes me to the third thing, honestly. Simple, but very hard. Start with one honest sentence. Just one. That names what is true for you right now. Let me give an example. I need more time. Maybe I'm not sure yet, or sometimes feels off, and I want to understand it even better. That is it. That's the whole boundary. One sentence of truth spoken before you have convinced yourself out of it. Small truth protects you long before big boundaries are ever needed. And if you're sitting there thinking about times you didn't do this, hear me out. You aren't careless. You aren't weak. You are just cared about something deeply. Connection, belonging, a future you could see so clearly and wanted it so badly. So you lean towards it, even when it costs you a little piece of yourself each time. That's not a character flaw. That's what it looks like to be human at some point. You're just learning now that you don't have to disappear to keep love present. That you can take up space and be loved. That you can say not yet without losing yourself. You can move more slowly and still be chosen. You can ask different questions and still be wanted. You can take your time and still be worthy the wait. Nothing about the way you love was foolish. You just needed someone to tell you that your instincts were allowed to have a seat at the table. These days, I'm not choosing perfect decisions. I'm just looking for something, a feeling of standing with myself while I choose, not abandoning myself to choose. Let me repeat this. You need to stand with yourself and choose, not abandoning yourself to choose. If today all you walk away with is this, the next time you almost rush your answer and maybe you pause instead, that's already a different direction. That's already you choosing yourself. You don't have to fix it at once. You don't have to fix it overnight. You don't have to go back and undo the past. You just choose to the part of you that quickly asks for space. Slow down. Calm yourself. Those parts were not trying to hold you back. They were trying to make sure you were in the life you were building. Hope this helped today, because today we have understood that boundaries are needed on this journey in life. Those are the lessons I learned. And if this was really an amazing message for you, thank you for listening. If this episode has felt like something you needed today, share it with someone who might need it too. And I'll see you in the next episode.